manuscripts in Pearl, Sorai, Tamashek, all with Arabic characters that recount the history of Africa.
The manuscripts are being digitized so they can eventually be made available to a worldwide scholarship. But the first priority has to be the conservation and preservation of the manuscripts. In 2001, South Africa's then President, Thabo Mbeki, visited the Institute and hailed the manuscripts as among the continent's greatest cultural treasures. He immediately gave funding for their preservation. Alexio Motsi is a South African conservator, making regular visits to Timbuktu to work on delicate and often damaged manuscripts, and equally importantly, to train local people in conservation skills.
To come here to Mali to see what was here was actually a serious motivation for me, because it was a dream come true for a conservator.
Must have been like finding the gold at the end of the rainbow.
It was more than finding gold, because being aware of the the historical background that Africa doesn't have documentary heritage, this for me was also another motivation which made me become very passionate.
At least 300,000 manuscripts are known to exist in the region, but so far only a tiny percentage have been translated or studied in any detail.
A lot of them have not been read, 1,000 at most. So there are lots of manuscripts that we got, and that's really exciting. But it also gives us the idea of the challenge that lies ahead, you know, and how much work that must be done on the manuscripts.
The conservation, cataloguing, translation and study of all the known manuscripts is a task which could take decades. But thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of manuscripts are still out there, some hidden behind walls, some in cellars, and some still buried in the sands of the desert. The last 300 years have dealt a succession of blows to Timbuktu. Morocco invaded at the end of the 16th century. Violent power struggles between rival fundamentalist Islamic sects created anarchy throughout the late 18th and 19th centuries, followed swiftly by the final indignity of French colonization. Like other victors, the French took away manuscripts as the spoils of victory. To protect their heritage, the owners of manuscripts hid their collections. Timbuktu's libraries went underground. Over the last 50 years, the manuscripts have gradually been brought out into the open again, but their owners are still suspicious.
Searching for manuscripts, it's a bit like prospecting for gold.
Before taking over his family library, Abdel Kader used to track down manuscripts for the Ahmed Baba Institute, seeking them out and persuading reluctant owners to hand over their treasures to the state for safekeeping.
I went to do some prospecting in a village called Bamba. The family led me down a corridor that led to a bedroom, and in the middle of the bedroom was a well. They opened the cover of the well, and with the help of a torch, we could see a pile of manuscripts. When we took them out, we found that about 60% of them were damaged, but the rest was good, and they are now in Ahmed Baba Institute.
But winning people's confidence could be difficult.
The first director of the Ahmed Baba Institute went to see an imam once, who had a large collection of manuscripts stored in his bedroom. Every day the director went to chat with him, and every day the imam promised they would work together and he would give some manuscripts. The director thought that everything was going great until one day when he went to see the imam, only to find that he would build a huge wall in front of his manuscript. And the director said, "What's going on here? What this is all about?" And the imam said, "There is going to be no more library and no more discussion." And to this day, those manuscripts are still behind that wall.
At the height of its golden age in the mid-1500s, Timbuktu's population had grown to 100,000. That's massive by the standards of the day, and a good 25,000 of them comprised the city's community of scholars and their students. But if Timbuktu was once a town of 25,000 scholars, there's not much sign of it now. Frankly, Timbuktu today feels like a dusty, if elegant, backwater, a place that's been crumbling for centuries. Nevertheless, it's wonderful to think that behind any of these walls could be yet another cache of undiscovered manuscripts. Though there's already more than enough to ensure a rethink of the history of this part of Africa in a new and dramatic way.
To me, it has actually changed my understanding. I'm much more proud to be an African, and I'm much more proud to be an African conservator, and more proud to be contributing towards the correction or rewriting of the African history.
The Ahmed Baba Institute was born from the international conference organized by UNESCO in 1967, and the topic was the origins of African history. I repeat, the origins of African history. And what's the origins? Is the manuscripts. So with the Arabic manuscripts, the intention is to rewrite the history of Africa.
Still, future historians should be wary of dismissing existing African sources, including oral ones. The challenge lies in weighing all the sources against each other.
African history have been for a long time built on oral tradition. Of course, a lot of people think that oral tradition is not credible, but I think that it is an important source for African history. So the question is how you approach the source and how you criticize the source to write the history.
A crucial source of evidence in any new appraisal of Africa's past are archaeological discoveries being made along the Niger near Timbuktu. The Niger has always been the lifeblood of this region, just as the Nile was to the eastern Sahara. Its waters provided fish and allowed agriculture to develop. The river was a long-distance trade route connecting the myriad communities along its banks. The Niger River rises in the hills of what was once the ancient kingdom of Fouta-Djallon, 150 miles from the West African coast. And but for a quirk of geology which caused the river to flow inland, the Niger would have been a very short river instead of one of the world's longest. Nearly 3,000 miles long, the river first flows north towards Timbuktu. It then curves eastward before turning southeast through Nigeria to the Atlantic Ocean. Between Djenné and Timbuktu, the Niger is yielding new revelations to equal the discovery of the manuscripts. From as early as 500 BC, this area was one of the most densely urbanized parts of the world, rivaling other early urban civilizations such as Mesopotamia. Doug Park is part of an American team that over recent years has extensively surveyed the region's wealth of archaeological sites. When we met, Doug was about to begin excavating a huge city site 10 miles south of Timbuktu. So how typical is a site like this in Mali? How many might there be?
Well, there is a lot. And there are accounts that say that if someone from Djenné wanted to send a message to a village or a city a few hundred kilometers away, he just had to shout, and the message would be carried across the floodplains and along the Niger until it reached that village, because so many people were living in such proximity. Yeah.
So the picture at that time was just of an urban landscape, all along the borders,
exactly.
The borders of the Niger River.
Exactly.
So read this landscape for me.
Here, what you look for are these gray areas.
Yeah, where it looks kind of earthy.
That is this massive pottery carpet. It spreads around an area somewhere between 70 and 100 hectares.
Which is enormous.
It's massive. This city rivals the size of the great cities of Mesopotamia, like Ur or Uruk.
So how does that compare to modern Timbuktu?
Well, to the old Medina,